Hey everybody, Titan Uprising here. Thank you for tuning in. And today's video, we're talking defense. How I believe this is a top 10 defense, and how I believe this defense will be better than last year, and how this defense can carry this team. So we're going to dive into it right now, and I'm going to pull up on the screen here just the depth chart of the defense really quick, and we'll run it down. We have Denico Autry, Teair Tart, Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry, Monty Rice, Azeez Al-Shaair, Arden Key, Christian Fulton, Amani Hooker, Kevin Byard, Roger McCreary, and Sean Murphy-Bunting. Those are the starting 12. I know there's 11 starters on defense, but today's NFL, the nickelback is pretty important, and that's almost like a starting position in my opinion, and I agree with the way this depth chart is set up here. So that was a quick breakdown of who the starting 12 who they have as the starting 12, and I do believe this is the starting 12 at least out of the gate. So I'm going to break these down now position by position, and I'll go over the starters, and then I'll get into the depth after. So let's start with Denico Autry. He is the Indianapolis Colts killer, and man, I love this guy. I hated playing against him. If you guys remember, anytime Tennessee played Indianapolis, this guy was all over us, and it sucked seeing this guy. Glad he's on Tennessee. Let's keep him here. If not, let's extend him for another year or two. This guy's got some juice left. Last year, he had 27 total tackles, 17 solos, 10 assists, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 pass defense, and he had 1 block kick. So not bad stats, but not greatest. Guys, he was banged up a lot last year, if you remember. He just couldn't stay healthy like many of the other guys, and he's a pretty healthy guy as it has been. So let's hope he gets back out in the field and he's healthy, because he's going to make a formidable front here with, we'll get into the next guy here, Teair Tart. Now, last year, Teair Tart had 34 total tackles, 20 solos, 14 assists, 1.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception. If you remember that was great. I loved it. He had 6 pass defenses, and sorry, I'm reading a stat here. It says 1 long interception yard. That's funny. So he had one interception for 1 yard. That cracks me up. I still love that play. That was awesome. Guys, he is a formidable foe in the middle. He's a cog in the middle. He's important to this defense. He's good against the run. He shows up in the passing game as well. Obviously we want to have sacks from his position. He's not supposed to be getting 6, 7, 8 sacks. If he were to be, that's awesome. Not many guys like this are. He's mainly a run stuffer, big cog in the middle. So I like this guy. Like I say, he's not gonna contribute much in sacks or anything like that. But as you can see, 6 pass defenses or defended too. So he gets his hand up. That's the ball down. But he's not a guy that's gonna go out and get a bunch of sacks. But good cog piece in the middle, good run defender, and can get his big paw up there and swat the ball down. And he's a great guy to have on this team. And now we're going to get into one of our studs, and that is Jeffrey Simmons. Recently signed that big extension in the offseason. He was banged up last year as well, so that affected his stats, just like Denico Autry was. A lot of our guys were banged up, if you remember. And so his stats last year were 54 total tackles, 25 solos, 29 assists, 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 7 passes defended. So just like Teair there, getting his big paw up there and swatting the ball down. And guys like Jeffrey Simmons do not grow on trees. He is a generational talent. And if it wasn't for a guy named Aaron Donald in the NFL, everybody would know Jeffrey Simmons as the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL. But, you know, guys like Jeffrey Simmons don't grow on trees, and then guys like Aaron Donald are just created in a lab. So Jeffrey Simmons is obviously one of the best defenders in the NFL. Definitely the second best interior defender in the NFL. He played in a bum ankle all year last year and toughed it out, and I gotta give him credit for it. He was emotional at the end of the season, gave it his all, you know, put his heart and soul into it, and you know, blood, sweat, and tears, the whole 9 yards, guys. He's who you want leading the defense, leading this team. He's the guy in the middle of the defense, getting them pumped every game. This guy's great. Sorry, allergies, guys, they're kicking my butt. This guy is going to have a killer year this year, and I think he's going to get back to double-digit sacks. And the reason being is because of this next guy here who was hurt all of last year, and that is Harold Landry. So obviously he had no 2022 stats because he was hurt. So I looked up his 2021 stats, and those would be 75 total tackles, 51 solo, 24 assists, 12 sacks, 1 forced fumble. So this guy, man, we missed that double-digit sacks coming off the edge. Man, he's such an important part of our defense. Getting him back is so crucial to this defense. We're gonna have him and Simmons and Autry back at it, and Dupree's not here. That's okay. We're gonna get into his successor and a few more guys here, and he's gonna be even better than Dupree was. So, but guys, Harold Landry just adds such a different element to this defense, and he's fast. 51 solo tackles, guys. He's fast. He's bringing guys down on his own, and he's capable of it. He can go sideline to sideline. He can get after the quarterback. He can stop the run. This guy is huge getting back. It's almost like signing a stud free agent now, getting this guy in our team. We didn't have him last year, and we were still one of the better defenses. And guys, everybody's going to point to all this defense gave up a lot of passing yards and stuff like that. They were on the freaking field all game long. All game. Our offense sucked. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. This defense, I'm surprised. No wonder they had so many injuries. Well, the whole team was banged up, but the defense, especially, they're on the field all the freaking time. I mean, when your offense is going 3 and out and the other offense isn't, I mean, someone's going to get winded and gassed, and it happened to the defense. If we had just somewhat of an offense last year, this defense could have been special, even more special. They would get off the field more, or be rested more, I should say. So, guys, getting Harold Landry back is killer. I don't know if he's going to come back to the 2021 form because, you know, most guys that tear the ACL, they don't come back the same right off the bat. But, you know, he did do it in the beginning of the season, so maybe he can come back and post up another double-digit sack season. But they're not going to be able to double-team Harold and Simmons. So, and then you got Danico, too, who's going to be freed up with a one-on-one. And this is a nightmare front for the defense, guys. This is a nightmare front. Now we're going to get into the linebackers here. Well, Harold Landry is obviously a linebacker, but I consider him more of an edge almost, just because he's, you know, 12 sacks, guys. That's just crazy that he had in 2021. So we're going to get into linebacker, or second linebacker, I should say, Monty Rice. So we drafted him a couple years ago. I think this guy could have a season almost like David Long, when David Long started taking over later, just like he did last year for us. Sucks losing Long, but I always pictured Monty coming in and eventually replacing David Long, and so let's hope we're right. So last year he got a little more action, so we kind of see what he could do. 66 total tackles, 39 solo, 27 assists, 1 pass defended. So he's more of a run stuffer, in my opinion. He's not a sideline to sideline cover linebacker. He's not like that, not like David Long was for us. So that's gonna suck. It'd be interesting to see if he calls the defense, or if the guy that I'm about to talk about next does. Be interesting to see who calls the defense. because as you guys know, that was David Long last year. I think Monty can step up, and I think he can fill an important role for us. This is one of the starters, I will say, that I think he'll be a starter, but I could see him either getting beat out in camp or maybe getting phased out later on. I don't think linebacker, or particularly inside linebacker, is a strength of this defense. Hopefully it's not exploited. If there's any weakness, I think it's this. Most people will say the secondary. Secondary is banged up, and we still are going to have two great safeties back there. We'll get to that later, but linebacker is going to be a weak spot, I think. And we'll get into the next linebacker, who was our off-season free agent addition, and that's Azeez Al-Shaair. And in 2022, he had 44 total tackles, 20 solo, 24 assists, 1 fumble recovery. And guys, this guy, he can cover a little bit better than Monty can, and we're going to need that. He's a quick guy as well, and we're going to need that. We are. Like I said, I'm not super thrilled about this linebacking position. I really am not. He's in his 5th season, play behind probably the best linebacker duo in the NFL with the 49ers last year. So, and he had been doing good till he got hurt. And then, just the Niners just are producing stud linebackers all over the place. So you can't really blame him for, taking a back seat to that. His total, by the way, stats are 199 total tackles, 111 solo, 88 assists, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, and 7 passes defended. So, guys, looking at his total stats there, and then as he got hurt and then took a back seat later in his beginning or later of the career, however you want to say that, he has the potential to do good, and he showed that. But like I said, he got hurt. And those Greenlaw came in, took his role with San Francisco, and Greenlaw is a hell of a linebacker. So, San Francisco was, they were in the riches with linebackers. I don't feel sorry for them at all because of that. But, guys like this can fall down a depth chart because of it, and then they want to go somewhere else and get their chance. So Rand, coming from San Fran, saw a great player here and decided to give him a shot and a 1-year prove-it deal. And I hope he proves it, and I hope he becomes a good cog for us in the middle of our middle of the field on our defense. And I like to see this guy take right over and get the green dot. And hopefully we can sign him to an extension with the big cap space we're going to have next year. I am excited about this guy. I do think he's ends up being a starter and stays a starter. I don't think anybody will beat him out. Now we're going to get into one of our another free agent addition, and this is my favorite defensive free agent addition that we had this year, and that is Arden Key. Came over from Jacksonville. Last year, he had 27 total tackles, 16 solo, 11 assists, 4.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 2 passes defended. This guy really started turning it on, and sorry guys, like I said, allergies kicking my butt. And this guy started turning it on really towards the end of his career, or end of his time with Jacksonville. And I think he could be the Jacksonville Jaguar killer, just like Danico Autry is the Indianapolis Colt killer. So I like him. His press conference was cool. He's lively. He's entertaining. I'm just excited for him. I really am. I think he can take a next step, especially with his defense that we mix the fronts around. I think he's going to be better than Bud Dupree. And better is just staying healthy, because Bud Dupree was never healthy. So if he plays all 16, 17 games there, so if he does, I mean, it's already better than Dupree. Dupree only played like 5. So I like this guy, and I think he can do very well. He actually did pretty well against us last year. And I'm excited for him. I really am. I think him, so we got Arden Key, Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons, and then Danico Autry, and then we have a Teair Tart in the middle. you know, those 5 guys I think are going to be a really, really good defensive front. And then you add the linebackers in there with Monty Rice and Azeez Al-Shaair, and they can send them, you know, we do different blitz packages and coverages to try and confuse the quarterback. I really like the mixture of these guys, the front guys, and we can just swarm, send different guys, and I love it. I really do. I'm excited for this. Now we're going to get into the secondary, and a lot of people are nervous about our secondary because they gave up yards last year. But like I said, guys, we were banged up, and the offense was, you know, never going past 3 drives, so the defense was out there all day long. And like I said, the injuries too. Kristian Fulton here, he's going to be one of our starters. I think he's going to have a better year. He was banged up last year. He had 48 total tackles, 35 solo, 13 assists, 1 fumble recovery, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 5 passes defended. I really thought he was going to take a huge leap last year, but he got hurt, so it kind of derailed him a little bit. I think he can take that leap this upcoming year. And the reason being is me talking about the next 2 guys here. And I think he's going to have a better year because these guys are going to have better years. And Kristian can become that number 1 that we need him to. Amani Hooker. Amani Hooker got the contract extension last year. He was hurt also. Guys, he's a good safety when he's on the field. He was just banged up. He had 46 total tackles, 39 solo, 7 assists, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 1 interception, and 3 passes defended. This guy was really starting to come into his own, got the contract extension, and then injuries just like Fulton. So these 2 guys back healthy all year round will help each other out. Kristian will be a good corner, have help over the top. I know Monty plays more down, and then Kevin will play, who we're getting into next, will play deep more in the true free safety position role. But we do mix things up. Monty's back there covering, and he can be back there as well. And sometimes we have Byard up front. So we mix. This defense is very multiple front, multiplicity, different coverages, disguises. I love our defensive concept. It's not like many in the NFL, and we really try to confuse an offense. And guys are all over the place, and that is something we've tried to sign on the defense, is people that can play all over the place and that can do different positions. Same thing where we're going with the offense now too, is trying to find linemen that can play different positions. So, you know, the defense was kind of a mess a few years ago. We got some talent on there and guys that can play different positions, and it's worked out well. Now I think they're trying to do that with the offense. But, you know, defense was banged up last year, so now we're going to get into Kevin Byard, who is our all-pro safety, the best safety in the NFL. Argue with me if you want. I will back that up all day long. He's a 2-time all-pro safety. So last year, 108 total tackles, 69 solo, 39 assists, 4 interceptions, 57 yards total for interception yards, and 6 passes defended. This guy is just a, what can you say about him? He's a stud. He's all pro. Ask him to do anything. This guy, 69 total tackles last year. He'll come down, tackle you on his own. He doesn't need the help. He can intercept the ball. He's always around the ball. He's a ball hawk. Great ball skills. Anytime you see a guy catch a ball over Byard, he is within 1 inch of breaking that thing up and in the perfect position, and the quarterback threw on a perfect ball, and it didn't matter who you are, you're not going to be able to get to it. Byard is just that good. You have to throw a perfect ball to where either that guy catches it or no one catches it. That's the only way you're throwing a ball that Byard can't get to. And those throws obviously exist because those quarterbacks obviously exist that can make those throws. You mess up at all, and Byard has your number. If you remember 2 years ago against the Los Angeles Rams, who happened to win the Super Bowl, Byard read Stafford the whole way, even baited him and then pick-sixed him. I mean, that was just, I mean, he's picked off all these good quarterbacks, right? Josh Allen, then Stafford, Mahomes. This guy is great. I have nothing but good things to say about him. I would love to see us extend him. I wanted to see him retire a Titan. I'm actually wearing his jersey right now because when we're talking about defense, we have to talk about Kevin Byard. This guy's amazing, and he's only going to elevate everybody else. Roger McCreary, here's our next guy. 84 total tackles last year, 70 solo, 14 assists, 1 interception, and 8 passes defended. He can come down, tackle, obviously with 70 solo tackles. He's not scared to get in there and rough it up. He was our 2nd-round pick last year. This guy, he was a rookie. Last year, he played, I think, almost every game. He was just consistent. He was on the field, and we really need him to take the next step. And if he does, this defense is going to be even better. And I'm hoping with a guy like who I will just get into now, Sean Murphy-Bunting coming over from Tampa Bay. I'm hoping a guy like that can elevate this defense, and especially our secondary, and then specifically our corners. Say, hey guys, this is what you need to do. I'm a vet. I've won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. This guy had a good year in 2021, but 2022 he fell off a little bit. So he had 31 total tackles, 19 solo, 12 assists, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 7 passes defended. So I think he has the talent. He really does. But he fell down the depth chart a little bit, had a rough year last year. But he was one of the better corners the year before. Maybe he just had an off year. Tampa Bay in general had an off year last year. So I'm hoping he can revert back to his 2021 self. And if he does, that's great. We need him to for this defense. And I really think he can, bring in some of that savviness, that veteran presence, and really help this defense out. I really do. And we're going to need him to, because we have to have that mentor. Christian Fulton's up there, but we really need a mentor. We really do. And this is the guy that can do it. He can be the mentor that we need. Now, I will get into the backups here, or second stringers potential. No one's job is safe. So, I'm not going to get into as depth as far as stats go. I will go through them. We have a second string here, defensive end, Jaden Peavy. I don't know if he's going to be or anything more than just a rotational guy. He might not even make the team because then we have nose tackle Naquan Jones. He will make the team. Curtis Brooks, he will make the team, I think, as well. Back up for defensive tackle. We're not super deep at defensive tackle, so maybe PV does make it. Maybe all 3 of these guys are on the team. I'm not really gonna dive into third stringers much at all. But there's some of these guys that can get in there and contribute, be special, or be a practice squad guy, rotational. I don't know much about TK McClendon, Tyler Shelvin, or Shackle Brown, so that's why I'm not really going to talk about those guys at all. Now we get into outside linebacker. Here we have Rashad Weaver. I was expecting big things out of him last year, and he showed flashes. Very inconsistent. He would have like a good game or 2 and then just don't hear from him at all. And I thought he was going to really step up and showcase himself with Harold Landry being hurt. Maybe he just needed another year with some more experience. But I'm excited for him too. I don't think he pushes for starting role. I don't think he's going to start over Arden Key. I think he's going to be a good rotational piece there. Then now we have Ben Neiman. Between Ben Neiman and then Luke Gifford, and Luke Gifford came from Dallas. That was a big special teamer that we got. Even the special teams coach for Dallas said, you guys got a good one. So I think Luke here is sitting at third string. I think he comes in and possibly challenges Neiman for that second string role and wins. Luke Gifford's a good special team ace, but I really do think he can come in and maybe steal that second string role from Neiman there. Now we have right inside linebacker Jack Gibbons. He did okay last year. It's not a guy you really want to see in the starting lineup. You want to see him special teamer and backup situational role. Same thing with Chance Campbell. I do think these guys, you don't want to see them starting. Inside linebackers weak for us. So, and we can mix these guys either which way. I mean, I really don't see, I'm not a big Ben Neiman believer there. So I think he does fall out, and I think we end up having our 5 linebackers being Monty Rice, Azeez Al-Shaair, Jack Gibbons, Luke Gifford, and Chance Campbell. I could be wrong, obviously. That's what I think we're going to end up having, with obviously the backup linebackers being key special teams guys. So then we're going to go right outside linebacker. Second stringer there is Sam Okoye-Nonu, and I think he can be a good rotational guy. Not a guy you want to see start, so hopefully no injuries force that into happening. And I know wasn't gonna get into third stringers, but I kind of am here, so I'll just go through all the third stringers here too. So we have Caleb Murphy, and he's gonna be practice squad or cut. I don't see him making the team. Now we're gonna go corners. We're gonna have Caleb Farley. Guys, I want him to pan out so bad. He's got the tools. He can't stay healthy. J-Rob he's killing us with these first round picks in 2020 and 2021, just killed us in these picks. We need Caleb to really step up. If he can come in and challenge for a starting role over McCreary, move McCreary to nickel, and then Murphy Bunting becomes our corner 4. Dude, that's nothing but good things for us. We need Caleb Farley to pan out. I think he's a bust. He can't stay healthy. You can't play. So, man, I'm disappointed about that pick. I really am. I hope he pans out, guys. We need him to. And then Stephen Jones Jr. I don't see him being. I don't see him making the team. I really don't. I don't know though. A lot of these guys are guys we signed after the draft. We've been pretty good with that. I will skip a couple spots. I'm going to skip over safeties and keep it at cornerback. And the reason I'm doing that is because of Trey Avery, who we had last year. He did good in spots. Obviously was not drafted, came out of the team, made it. Trey Avery did well, like I said, in spots, held his own. Maybe he can take a second-year leap this year. But, that's why I say a guy like maybe Stephen Jones could do good, because a guy like Trey Avery did. We coach him up. And then we had Chris Jackson there. 7th-round pick in 2020. He's a rotational guy. Not a guy you want in there all the time. Guy that gives a breather. If you have to have like 5 or 6 corners out there, you want him to be one of them, I guess. Not much faith there. He won't be on the team after his contract runs out, I don't believe. And then I'll keep it with the corners and go Elijah Molden, who was banged up a lot last year, and I had really high hopes for him after the 2021 season. He was our 3rd-round pick. He was considered a steal. I do think he makes another leap this year, and I think he could really challenge Murphy Bunting for a nickel job. I really do. I think he could do good. We need him to. He's feisty. I like this guy. I'm a big Elijah Molden fan. And then Shyheim Carter, I don't believe he makes the team. I think he's practice squad or cut. So now we get into the backup safeties here. Then we have Josh Thompson. I think he's going to be a backup strong safety for Hooker. I don't believe he's going to lose his job. We signed him from Jacksonville. And then we have Mike Brown. He is the backup free safety for Kevin Byard. He came over from Cleveland. I think Mike Brown and then Josh Thompson are the backup safeties. I think those guys are kind of locked for backup safeties. They'll be special teamers guys as well. But the 3rd string safeties are Matthew Jackson and Tyreek Jones. Practice squad or cut with those guys. Prove me wrong, guys. Love for you too. I like seeing the guys make it that no one is giving an opportunity to or a shot for. and Tennessee's the place to do it. They will play the better person, unless you play left tackle and you let Dennis Daly sit out there all game long. Sorry, I'm still mad about that. Now, I did tell you guys there's guys that I thought might lose their jobs. I could see Jack Gibbons taking over for Monty Rice, and I could see Elijah Molden taking over for Sean Murphy-Bunting. Now, would that be a surprise so much? No, but we did sign Sean Murphy-Bunting to a decent contract, 1-year deal. Molden's coming off an injury, riddled last year. Would that be somewhat of a shock? Yeah, maybe. Maybe more people would be shocked by Jack Gibbons taking over for Monty Rice. Gibbons didn't play horrible last year, but he wasn't supposed to see the field as much as he did. And this was a guy that, was undrafted, so he came in last year, undrafted guy. Seems like a big Vrabel guy. Wore the green dot when David Long was out. So I think he could do good, guys. I really do. And he also wore the green dot during preseason games. So I could see him taking over for Monty Rice. I think that'll be a good position battle to watch in training camp is the linebacker position, specifically the inside linebacker position. So, guys, this is the breakdown of the defense. This is the longest video I have done. We're around 31 minutes so far, a little over. I am excited for this defense. I think we have potential to be number one again in the run defense. And I think if the offense can just keep the defense off the field a little bit, then I really do think we can end up being maybe top 15 in pass, because there's a lot to still prove here. And then maybe an overall defense, I would say top 10, top 5, depending on the pass rush. The pass rush will really decide what this defense is going to be like. Harold Landry comes back, turns it on, and then Arden Key does better than a Bud Dupree did, and this defense is already leaps and bounds better. Going to be harassing the quarterback all game long, and throwing quick passes, and the corners and safeties are picking them off or batting the ball down, getting their morale up, getting them boosted. Then they start playing better, and that spells trouble. That spells turnovers and mistakes and whatever else you're in offense there. Missed timing, missed cues, error thrown balls, everything, guys. So I'm excited for this defense. What do you guys think? I want to know. Comment down below. Do you think we're going to be, and I'll say it again, I think we'll be, I'll say top 3 run defending defense. I think we can get number 1. I think we'll be top 15 pass defense. And I think we're definitely, in my opinion, definitely be in the top 10 for defense total. Would I like to see that go into top 5? Yes. That depends on the defensive front, though. A guy like Jeffrey Simmons getting his big contract, comes out hungry, wanting to prove himself, which I think he is a guy like that. It's not going to get the contract and sit on his butt. And then we have Harold Landry coming back, and like I said, Arden Key taking over for Bud Dupree. I'm excited for the front 7. Linebacker core, like I said, is a little weak. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there a player that I didn't really give much credit for that you guys see ascending the depth chart? And let me know, guys. I want the feedback, and I always comment. So let me know and tighten up, everybody. We'll talk soon.